common-sense agricultural policy. Brexit allows Britain to develop a policy that works. Brexit offers the UK an opportunity to reform the country's environmental policy and allow Britain's farming industry to compete at an international level, according to a leading think tank. Warwick Lightfoot, the director of research at the Policy Exchange think tank, blasted the EU's common agricultural policy and branded it the least successful program on the continent. The think tank claimed that outside the EU the UK will be free to abolish tariffs on food products, which will unlock new trade deals, help developing countries and deliver cheaper food for consumers. Mr. Lightfoot said, "The primary goal of government intervention in agriculture should be to support public goods, and to preserve high standards for environmental protection, food safety, and animal welfare." But while we are in the EU, 87% of UK farming income comes from subsidies. A perverse and unsustainable state of affairs. Leaving the European Union allows us to think again about agricultural policy from first principles. The starting point for policy reform must be the consumer. The EU's historic reluctance to open up trade in food products has repeatedly stymied trade deals and led to higher prices for consumers and a distorted farming industry. The UK can now lead the world in cutting tariffs and being a champion of free trade in agriculture. The EU's common agricultural policy has been repeatedly criticised for reducing productivity by lessening competition and supporting inefficient farmers, which in turn results in soaring costs for consumers. Muric Raymond, the head of the National Farmers Union, NFU, said, "The NFU would also like to see a domestic agricultural policy that creates a highly productive, dynamic farming sector that can compete on a global scale. To compete on a global scale, it is vital for British food production that a new domestic policy does not leave farming at a competitive disadvantage. Governments across the world have policies in place that recognise and support the sector's value. The British food and farming sector is no different. It is important a new agricultural policy is sufficiently resourced and open to all farm businesses. Any transition towards a domestic policy needs to be carefully managed to keep farm businesses sustainable and competitive as Brexit and trade negotiations begin. It is crucial for British farming that any potential trade deals do not serve to allow cheaper food imports which could undermine the high standards that are demanded of British farmers. Failure to protect these standards could risk damaging farming's ability to continue producing the raw ingredients that feed the nation as an industry worth £109 billion and employing 3.8 million people. It is vital that food and farming's strategic importance is recognised by the government. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and don't forget to subscribe English News Hub for new excited videos.